Well, folks, the New York Attorney General's office has not wasted any time in 2022 carrying on their investigation into the Trump Organization, the Trump family, for possible bank and or tax fraud. It was revealed yesterday via a court filing that subpoenas have officially been issued to both Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka Trump by New York Attorney General Letitia James. What does this mean? Right? That's the big question on everybody's mind. What do these subpoenas mean? Well, first and foremost, it means that this investigation is now focusing on the actions of the Trump family itself. Now, it's also important to remember that the criminal investigation is the one being conducted by the Manhattan DA. The one that is happening with the New York Attorney General is more of a civil probe. However, it could end up leading to criminal charges, and of course, it could bolster whatever case the criminal probe comes up with. So what they're looking for is whether or not the Trump family, the Trump Organization, inflated the value of their properties in order to secure loans from the bank, which would be bank fraud, and if they artificially lowered the value of their properties for the tax authorities, which of course would be tax fraud. Fairly simple thing to, figure out here. There's records of both, and I'm sure the DA and the Attorney General have all of these records. But now it's time to find out what exactly happened, why these discrepancies exist. Because, believe it or not, it's not always as cut and dry as you might think. Values fluctuate. When they went to the bank, it could have been worth that much. When they paid their taxes, it could have been worth that much. And of course, with taxes, you have write-offs, all kinds of other things. So it's not necessarily as black and white, cut and dry as we'd all like to think, even if they have the documents showing discrepancies in the numbers. And that's where the subpoenas come in. What did the kids know? Y'all were running the business for most of this time. You looked at these things. You signed off on them. What did you sign off on? Why did you sign off on it? And those are the kinds of things that these subpoenas are hoping to flush out as this investigation continues. And of course, Attorney General Letitia James has said she would love for Donald Trump to sit down for a deposition on January 7th. Of course, that being this coming Friday, not gonna happen, but it is going to happen sometime in the future. Donald Trump cannot continue to kick this down the road anymore. He's going to have to face these investigators at some point, even after he filed a lawsuit last month trying to claim that this was just some kind of political witch hunt and therefore should be shut down. And now, based on these subpoenas that were revealed this week, it's becoming more obvious as to why Donald would file that lawsuit trying to shut it down. The walls truly are closing in at this point. The investigation is now focusing on his family. They want answers from Ivanka and Donnie Jr. That's not going to end well for the Trump family, most likely. Right? We can't count our chickens before they hatch here. But in my estimation, based on the progression that we have seen from this particular investigation, things aren't looking very good for the Trump family. And it may be time for some of them to start thinking, I got to save myself. And in order to do that, you may have to throw somebody else under the bus. Is Ivanka going to be the one to throw people under the bus? Will it be Donnie Jr.? Will it be Donald himself? Who knows? But I'm willing to bet all of them are terrified at the prospect of going to prison over this, or even worse for them, losing their business. So I imagine before this is all over, one member of that family is going to turn on the others. And that is when things are going to get truly ugly with the Trump family. One of today's video sponsors is Munk Pack Keto Nut and Seed Bars. Healthy snacks have a bad reputation, and let's be honest, most don't taste very good. They don't fill you up, and they certainly don't satisfy any of your cravings. Munk Pack makes snacks that taste like our favorite sugary treats, but with 1 gram of sugar or less. Munk Pack Keto Nut and Seed Bars contain 1 gram of sugar or less, 2 to 3 grams of net carbs, and they're only 150 calories. They're great for anyone following a keto lifestyle and the perfect snack for anyone who's trying to eat better or cut back on sugar and carbs without sacrificing taste. Munk Pack Keto Nut and Seed Bars have a perfect balance of sweet and salty, a crunch from whole nuts and seeds, but still manage to be soft and chewy. They come in delicious flavors like sea salt dark chocolate, caramel sea salt, and peanut butter dark chocolate. They're perfect for a quick snack to satisfy your sweet tooth without any guilt, and you can enjoy Munk Pack Keto Nut and Seed Bars as a quick breakfast while running errands or after a workout. In addition to being keto-friendly, the bars are also gluten-free, plant-based, non-GMO with no soy, trans fats, sugar alcohols, or artificial colors. So try it for yourself and you'll see, and we have a special deal for our Ring of Fire viewers. Get 20% off your first purchase of any Munk Pack product by visiting munkpack.com and entering our code ROF at checkout. And Munk Pack is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll exchange the product or refund your money, whichever you prefer. To get started, just go to munkpack.com. That's munkpack.com. Select any product, then enter code ROF at checkout to save 20% off your purchase.